We're gonna be live here. We're gonna be live there. We're gonna be live everywhere.
And
Nice. Good
speak, and
morning. How are you on this Friday? Friday morning.
I'm freaky. I'm freaky like the rest of the nation. I'm freaky. I'm so freaky that even Donald Trump doesn't know what to say about me.
Are you freaking out? Are you fret? Have you
I
gotten?
think, I think we've seen enough. It's time to make our change, but it's not going to happen until the weekend. Apparently, who knows what's going on?
I don't know that it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Well, first let me say that let's say good morning to everybody who's listening. Good morning to everybody who's listening. It's Mikey and Vinnie on every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at this time, 10 or thereabouts. We're retired. We don't really have to be anywhere. Could be 10,
We say
10,
we,
12,
we say
15.
we're gonna be there, but don't hold us to it because what are you gonna hold us to?
Hey, I went to a doctor yesterday. I got there at 11 o'clock. They didn't come out until 11:40. If he gets 48 minutes, you can get five. Um,
I didn't
we
go
also
anywhere yesterday.
background, the sound of August Azalea, which is the theme of the Masters. The man who wrote that theme and many other themes, and even had a hit with a song called "Please Come to Boston," uh, passed away yesterday. Dave Loggins, a distant cousin, I guess, of Kenny Loggins, but also in the music business, passed away in Nashville.
If he had just married Shelley Duvall, it would have been a complete show business day.
Yeah. Shelley Duvall passed, and also, yes, a great. I always really enjoyed her as as an actress.
She was olive oil.
She was olive oil. She was Woody Allen's quirky girlfriend or quirky date to the rock concert in Annie Hall. Uh,
She had a good time. She wanted to go to that show. She had a wonderful day.
yeah, she was. I mean, she had. I mean, obviously, she was in The Shining, probably the role that most people remember her for. Um, but one of those quirky actresses who just disappeared off the face of the. She was
As
there,
as
and then
Variety
anymore,
as Variety says, she ankled the business,
which means she ran.
and she turned on her ankle and never returned.
Yeah, she just. I guess some people take it easier when they realize that their time in front of the camera, in front of the microphone, in front of whatever it is, whatever medium they're in front of, uh, has passed, and that they're yesterday's news. That's it. They're done.
Or they just walk on it. They just say, I made a couple movies. It's not what I thought. I'm gone. I'm
Yeah.
going home to Texas and drive a pick 'em up truck.
Well, she had a pretty. I mean, did a lot of different things. So, I mean, she was definitely somebody who made some impact. Just said, you know what, I don't need to be in front of the camera. I had my time in front of the camera.
And how do
I
you know
guess,
that? Well, I was in front of the camera. That's how I know.
yeah, I was in front of the camera. Now I'm not in front of the camera anymore, but I still got some ideas and things I want to do. So I'll do them, and I can get somebody else to stand in front of the camera.
Somebody else will be olive oil. There's always another olive oil. So let that be. Let that be. Let it be.
Let it be. Or let it. I watched. I watched yesterday. I know we got to Joe in a second. We must. I watched the first midnight special yesterday. Remember the midnight special?
Wasn't Wolfman Jack the voice of the Midnight Special?
He was the host. They brought him on as a host, and they started, I guess, using revolving hosts, different people. The one
Right.
I watched, which was the pilot, was actually it was ironic and interesting that it was a an NBC special developed to get people who had just in a couple of years before acquired the right to vote. We forget that you had to be 21 to vote lifetime earlier in our lifetimes.
In our lifetime, it became 18.
And in our life, they made clean if you could go to war, you should have a say in it. So they dropped it to 18 under Nixon, I believe. And so this was NBC's effort at getting people, young people, to sign up to vote. And
Oh, I
it was
see.
put together by Bert Sugarman, an impresario from, I guess, down in Los Angeles. And it was so well received that they made a they said, wait a minute, we have something here. We can do something better than run old movies at
But we can make, but,
11:30
but we
at night.
can make it worse by having Bert Sugarman be the host. It's so hip, it's so
Well, we
wonderful,
won't
it's
do
so
that. Let's
now.
grab somebody. Let's start with John Denver and see which way we can work up to. But one of the acts in the original special was the Everly Brothers,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and they came out and they did a version of "Let It Be Me" that was just off the charts.
Well, Don and Phil, you can't get any better than that.
Yeah, stunningly beautiful version of "Let It Be Me." I mean, it's one of my favorite songs, and to hear them, um,
Phil Everly was not of this earth. His voice and what he was able to do with it all those years is beyond earth capability. It's otherworldly.
yeah, you're sitting there thinking, how does this voice out of a human being without an instrument, some kind of
Tone with
mechanical?
a tone generator.
Yeah, there's something not right here. There's something that's not clicking the way it should be clicking. But yes, that was a treat to run across that and to see that, and it made my day. It turned what was turning out to be a really crappy day into a good one. It's amazing how music can change your mood.
Well, we've got less than 120 days till the election,
Now
and
you
Joe
want to
Biden.
change my mood back the other way.
Well, we're not done with our woe. We have too much woe in this nation. Woe, 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 do we have it? And we don't seem to be able to tell Joe Biden that he can't do it anymore. We keep letting him tell us that he can. Joe, where's the keys? I got the keys right here, but I can't. I don't see you have the keys. Where are they? They were in my pocket. I got them here. I got the keys. I'm driving. No, Joe, I'm driving, but I need the keys. I'm gonna get you the keys. I've got the keys. Now, what do you want? The keys? Hmm. The keys. I don't have the keys. I thought you had them. And that's the way the conversation goes all night. He believes that he's in charge. He's the president, and no one can tell him that he's not. Time's up.
Well, he
Time's
is
up.
right now, though, isn't he?
Time's up. We're done. Time to get off the stage. We tried to do this so it was nice and so it was respectful, and we want it to be that way. But you're asking for trouble, and you cannot win. See, here's the problem. He can do what he wanted to. He could be FDR and run one more time when he was dying and still win. But he could govern. He could still be the president. And Joe can't do that anymore. Joe can't tell Vice President Harris from Vladimir Putin. And to do that in front of everybody on the international stage just says we're done. We're done with this now. We've watched the charade long enough. The emperor has no clothes, etc. I have great respect for him and people love him, but enough. Basta.
Well, yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the whole press conference. I just saw clips of it, and yeah, I mean, when you make a mistake like that
Out of the box.
out of the box, I mean, the whole thing here was hold until halftime. You know, like let people get an impression before they take a sip of their beer or whatever they're doing as they're watching, you know, smoke their first joint, whatever it is. I would watch a presidential press conference because when you set somebody up to succeed and they fail miserably, like he has over the past couple of weeks, I don't know what you say. I don't know what you say. I don't
He's
know
barely
what.
got the air to utter a defense. I'm would let that go, Vinny. I would let the whole thing go. I would let him be an old man and be president. But he's going to cost us the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, the country, the future, and everything else in between. As James Carville said this morning, he's going to destroy the Constitution, the Western Alliance, and everything in between.
If Trump gets elected, yeah.
Carville wants to know what's taking so long. What's in danger? The Constitution, the Western Alliance, and everything in between. And that includes California. That includes the state of Washington. That includes the wonderful city of New York. That includes it all. The whole damn shooting match is up for grabs. And we're sitting here going, well, we don't want him to be upset. He's very old, but he's our boy. He's our man. He's our president. He's done wonderful things. Think of all the legislation he's put together since Johnson. Well, that's fact, but that's not the only fact. The fact is, he's going to cost us the House, the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the future of this nation.
Well, I just think at this point, and I said it on Wednesday's show, and I believe it. Why can't they come up with some kind of deal where he is like just this chief of staff, this major advisor to Kamala Harris? They say, listen, she's the one with the youth. More and more people are seeing what she can do. You're no matter how you try to hop yourself up or get in front of people, it's not working.
It gets worse every time he tries to
confidence in you.
Every time he tries to reassure us, it gets worse. I got this.
So, as much as we hate to say it, maybe the idea here is you got to let her take the reins of this thing.
I saw points this morning, Vinny, that without running, she's 1 point ahead of Trump.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, we were talking about that Wednesday, remember? And Hillary Clinton is 2 points ahead of Trump.
Look at this. Lizzie Borden beats Trump by 3 points across the board.
Oprah is up by 10. I mean, almost any put up against Trump.
Yep.
That's a nut job is
going to show it. Yeah, because he can't campaign. He cannot campaign. He can make a speech. He can utter words, but he can't campaign.
Well, he can't not be Donald Trump. And
True.
The act is, unless you are a hardcore Trump, unless you're one of those people that are in the cult.
Yeah.
His act is wearing thin.
Yep. It ain't it's like those acts that were on Ed Sullivan. There's three guys and they're the Dancy brothers and they do the same routines and they slide through their legs and they do it and you go, wow, that was wonderful. They've been doing that act for 30 years. Well, that's less than wonderful.
Yeah, Trump's act, you know, we saw it. And we saw the damage it can cause and we've seen it. He's not your guy to straighten out this country.
No.
If you want to go get somebody who you think can straighten out the country, you know, maybe I give you a listen. But as long as you got Trump at the head of your ticket,
forget about it.
And I think a majority of Americans feel like it.
You know, Joe's a realist, even though he may be getting pretty frayed around the edges. Why can't he see that it's the Senate, the House, and everything in between? The Western Alliance, the Constitution,
Michael,
and California.
I think it's.
He thinks he's going to pull it out in the last minute?
Well, I think when you're in that kind of position, you know, it's kind of like an athlete. If you're an athlete on the worst team in baseball, on an opening day, you believe that your team has a shot to win.
I don't know if you saw MSNBC last night, but Chris Hayes said, when it's the seventh game of the World Series and the starting pitcher is Whitey Ford and the manager goes out to take him out of the game, Whitey Ford says, you're not taking me out. I got this. Whitey, you got 2 on and 1 out. Come with me. No, you don't understand. I'm Whitey Ford. I got this. I've got this. I got 2 guys in the bullpen. I got a lefty and a righty. I got the best players in baseball. We're the New York Yankees. You're coming with me. And here's the thing, Whitey. It ain't your call. Come on. Give me the ball.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. But there's no athlete that believes that he's going to fail. You can't be an athlete.
You
and
don't
go
ask
into
him.
this and think you're going to fail.
What do you want, Coach? Well, I just wanted to ask you. Do you think it's time to come out? You're having a you're having a hellish day
Yeah,
out
I
there.
mean, you just and I
Have
think,
you given any thought to retiring?
yeah, I think Biden is in that situation where he is, he just doesn't think it's his time to go out. He can get, he's got a somewhere where they can get him that third out and get out of the inning.
I got a hat and I got a rabbit in it. I'm going to pull it out. Watch this.
Problem
Nope, wrong
is
hat.
that there are everybody in the stadium doesn't want to wait for that to happen.
Plus, in baseball, you take the pitcher out and you bring in a fresh guy.
Yeah.
You don't say, "Hey, he's pitched 8 innings. I bet he's got two more in him." I bet he does. Well,
Well,
the odds are there.
that gets many a manager fired.
Yeah, your
Many
optimism.
many a guy sits on there is sitting on some press box as a scout saying,
As the
"Damn,
coach,
I only would have taken when it counts
as
two
the
and
general
two
manager
two."
said, your potential is going to get me fired.
Yeah, and I think that's what you have with Biden. He's the pitcher, and he doesn't believe that he's got a pitch left that's gonna get this guy out.
He doesn't believe the bases are loaded either, though.
Yeah. Oh no, I believe. Yeah, I mean, I think it's complicated, and then you have his family who are, according to reports, telling him, "Well, don't give up. You've never given up." Da da da. At some point, you got to say, it's time. It's
But when
time
I get knocked down, I get
to.
up. My father said, "Joey, don't tell me that. Do not tell me that story. I don't care what your father said, Joey. Understand that. We're past that."
Yeah, I care. I care that this country isn't going to go belly up. I care that we're not going to get a bunch of that we're going to something to not let this group of people who literally want to take over our country.
And there's just going to be a prairie fire over it, and we're not going to let them do it. There's going to be war in the streets.
Well, yeah, it's going to blast back to the, you're going to go back to the 1800s, and these people are going to be. I mean, it's going to be nuts.
You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows.
It's it's going to may be nuts anyway. There's no guarantees that it's not going to be nuts if Biden or Harris or wins.
I think Kamala Harris comes out of the box like a Viking warrior.
Well,
I think that she takes it to Trump and never lets up and campaigns with vigor and with extraordinary focus and with the truth and with energy and changes the whole atmosphere. She's waiting. She's just ready to be released.
I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. That I think if they figure out that she's the one, and I don't see any at this point why she shouldn't be, and that's just my mind because 2 months ago I was saying she's not ready for prime time.
And I was with you. I didn't think she looked it. And things have changed so dramatically.
But she's stepped up to the bar here, and proven that she can be the loudest person in the room.
And part of it was she didn't say anything for the right time.
Right. She has the sense to know when to hold them and know when to flip them. As she's somebody you look at and you say, "Wow, why have they been hiding this time?" Well, now we know why. Why?
Ace in the hole.
Well, not only that,
And Donald Trump doesn't have an ace. He doesn't even have a vice president to run with him.
yeah, we don't even know. Uh, I mean, it almost seems like the Biden people were hiding her. We're
Oh,
not
they were.
letting her shine because they didn't want her to outshine Joe.
According to members of NATO, Barack Obama, and Nancy Pelosi, the Biden people were hiding more than that. They were hiding the president's true condition. They were keeping it from a lot of people. And
Wouldn't shock me.
It was only when they had to bring him out in public that it became obvious that the president had lost not a step, but a good deal more than that.
It wouldn't shock. I just
When I'm 81, I hope I'm that sharp. I hope I'm sharper. I hope I can tell Putin from Harris.
well, I also know that when I'm 81, and God willing that I get there, that I'm going to know that I can't do a morning show 5 days a week.
Saturdays are fine, 10 to 2.
Yeah, Saturdays would be great. I can do it, and that's why in my thinking, you have to Biden with this idea that role that they want him to play is bigger than just being the president.
Ambassador without portfolio.
I mean, in essence, you make him I don't want to say Secretary of State,
Special advisor to the president.
but yeah, he's a special advisor to the president. He's like the chief of staff. You know,
You
I
can
mean, you don't throw his
put him in charge of naming people.
right. Well, you don't throw his skills away just because he can't be. It's obvious that he can't win the presidency. You know, or I don't want to say it's obvious, but there's a reasonable doubt that he would fail in winning presidency. There's enough doubt in people's minds.
It seems like anybody who's in doubt would be saying he can win it. If he runs, he's going to lose it.
So I looked the thought that's the way you got him, and that's the way you have to approach this. Is you have to say that we're going to make this transition. Now the Republicans are going to be all over that because they're going to say, well, with Trump, we have, he knows he's going to run the country. He's going to do that. But yeah, he's going to run the country into the freaking ground.
And it'll only take him a couple of weeks.
Might take him one night. And the prospect for people in this who are working people, who are living on fixed incomes, who are the lower end of the wage earner scale, are bleak at best with Trump. At best, are bleak. If you participate in Medicaid, if you participate in some of these programs that the federal government has, that they fund under this Project 2025, that credit's all going to go away or be greatly reduced.
It's going to be.
You're on your own.
The Shoop Shoop song is all you're going to get. The president will now sing along with the Shoop Shoop song. What happened to Social Security? Well, that's gone, but the president's going to do the Shoop Shoop song today at noon on the in the Rose Garden.
Yeah, but they'll sell you a Bible for $59.95. Go buy one of his Bibles, and maybe we'll let you keep Social Security. Matter of fact, we'll take $10 a week out of your Social Security check, so that you can pay for that Bible for the next year. So that'll be 12 payments of $10, which will be $120 for the $59.95 Bible,
which we took from the St. James. It's too easy. By the way, the president says no babies. The president says no babies. The president says no babies.
No, they're going to make sure that you're having babies. Babies goes away abortion. They're going to take away birth control. I guess except if you're in the administration. I'm pretty sure that if you knock up your secretary in the Trump administration,
we got a plan for that.
You'll know exactly where to fly her to get the abortion.
Bimini.
You'll be okay to fly somebody places.
Everybody's going to Bimini. It's a destination.
To the hospital for wayward girls.
It's not so much a hospital; it's a Trump clinic, supervised by Trump himself, and the Trump Foundation. Yeah, and all the money he made selling Trump steaks. Did you ever eat a Trump steak, by the way?
No, not that I know
of. Oh, you would know.
I think you would. I can't imagine that it was quality meat.
Well, it wasn't meat. Did I infer that it was meat? I'm sorry. We just call them steaks.
I think I would hazard a guess that it would be the losers in the second, third, fourth, and fifth races, Aqueduct, Yonkers, and Roosevelt Raceways. That's what I think the Trump stakes are.
Funny you should mention Aqueduct. That's the place where we get the Trump steaks. You're right, absolutely.
And
And
that's what
many of them are this one was called Lucky.
it's the old
Lucky,
Rodney
Lucky
Dangerfield line.
Vanus. Whatever happened to Lucky?
Got the
Whatever happened
jockey
to
marks on the side.
whatever happened to Lucky Vanus? Was he a jockey? Did he have a career for a while?
Last I heard, he was an umpire, but I don't know what the hell happened to him. He was in the home.
He was in the home. He confused Kamala Harris with Vladimir Putin, and that was the last we heard of him.
Yeah, it's you know what's really bad about it because I can't watch too much of it anymore. I'm so what can I'm getting so burnt on it, which I think is probably what many people are hoping is that you just get burnt on it, that you don't pay attention to it anymore.
Go with Joe. Go with Joe. What the hell?
Go with Joe. Go ahead. Just stop. But I mean, you can't turn on a television set without seeing Trump. I think it's mentally incapacitating people in this country.
It hurts. It really hurts to watch him.
I can't imagine what it would be like to have him before president.
You see, he's unraveling the same way Joe is, but in a different way. He gets louder and more certain of himself.
Right.
And this is not going to play off when he's got to compete against a rational, young, vibrant candidate. It's what America wants. The number one complaint about Joe was not what he did, not what he said, not who he was. It was how old he was. He's too old to be president.
Kamala will wipe the streets with him.
That's right. That's right. That is right.
She will take him. She will go into black woman mode, and she will wipe the streets with him.
And Vinnie, there's one thing that Joe won't do and can't do and's never done. He doesn't get tough. He doesn't get in the street. He doesn't pull out the brass
dirty,
knuckles.
and she knows how to fight.
She knows how to fight.
If
you don't fight Trump, he just keeps talking.
Yeah. You hit the nail on the head. If you don't raise your hands, he just keeps going. I'm convinced that
no major candidate has given him a bloody nose, not yet.
Yeah, I mean, even in the Republican stuff, but he's gone because Trump set a new standard. Trump said, "I can lie, I can say what I want to say, I can make up stuff. We go along."
He's lying on the teleprompter.
Nobody's going to do anything about it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be telling people what they want to hear.
They're going to love me. They're going to love me when I say this. They don't want to understand the thing about the shark in the boat, but they're going to love me.
And my base, the people that will vote for me, love it. They want to hear about it. They want to hear me say, because I'm saying what they're thinking. Doesn't have to be true.
Doesn't have to make sense.
Doesn't even have to make sense. It's just that I'm saying what they're thinking. When I stand up on a stage and I say, I am your contribution. I am speaking to a person who ever thought that they lost a job because a black person got a job. I'm talking to everybody who some Spanish guy cut off on the FDR. I'm talking to I'm hitting home with everybody who ever felt scared when they were walking down the street and there were two black guys walking the other way. That's who I'm talking to. And they're not going to doubt me. Because I'm the first guy who'll stand up and say what they're thinking. And so you develop a loyal base. It's the same people who love Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Oh, God. Stop it.
Same people.
Knock 3 times. Get out of here.
Yeah, same people. Nobody different. They listen. They hear Candida come on and they start doing the dance. They're jerking the two guys off.
The arm dance, where you plant your feet firmly, never move them, and just wave your arms.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Bill Maher gets that right, man. He looks like he's jerking two guys off. But that his base is his base people who are too lazy or too stupid
They never grew past Helen Reddy.
to click on. Oh, she was on Midnight Special, by the way. Um, she's saying, "I don't know how to love him." Uh, it was, yeah. They don't want to research the facts. They don't want to look at Google. They don't want to see that, they blame their problems on the media. They blame their problems on the guy next door. They blame their problems on they got sick because of the doctor, not because they were eating at McDonald's every day of 28 years. That that's not what they want to. It's not. That's not who they're blaming. There's no taking responsibility. It wasn't me. It was somebody else, and that's where Trump hits people right in the heart.
That's what Donald Trump understands. We have aggravations, we have problems in our life that we can't understand. It can't be our fault. It's got to be somebody else's fault.
Right.
Probably a liberal.
Oh, of course. I mean, they turn liberal into a dirty word. All of your problems are because people are getting security in this country.
That's the problem.
But
That's
wait a minute. I'm getting Social Security. Well, that's the problem.
that's the problem. But that's my money. I funded it. No, that's what they tell you. That's what they want you to believe.
Yeah, it's all money. We just let you hold it, but we take it back from you. We'll take it back from you. Whether it's penny by penny, or inch by inch, or dollar by dollar, or click by click. No matter
I'm
how it
gonna
is, we'll
turn
take
on
it
the
from
air conditioning. Hold on a second. Sorry.
you. Anyway, yeah, and there's enough people to buy it. There's enough people that don't want to. There's enough people who are getting disgusted
Just got
looking
hot in
at the
here.
TV and are checking out of this election. And they're saying, well, just there's enough people saying it doesn't matter who's in office,
Well, that's not true.
but it does matter.
I think we're finding
And
that out
with Trump
dramatically.
back in office, you're gonna find out matters.
Because Donald Trump doesn't even come down till 11 o'clock in the morning. There's none of the 7 to midnight schedule for him. The dark people around him are working while he's asleep. And believe me, they're
If you have a
dark.
bunch of these people around you, uh,
Coming
you,
up with
you don't
evil
need to get up
ideas every
early.
day. No, right. Pardon my rudeness for getting up, but it got hot in here. In fact, why is it
Michael, I
hot
get
in
up
here?
all the time. By the way, I just have to give some props to Starbucks for that. They've come up with a watermelon cooler that is top shelf. You
Watermelon
In
cooler.
fact, it has 200 grams of caffeine in it. Cause me to just go to sleep here in an hour.
So you're doing orbits around the room.
Yes, right now, orbits in a little while. It'll, it should crash as good as anything. But I think that's, I
We're in a pickle, but there's a way out. Why won't we just take the way out?
well, as I said, I don't think it's easy for Biden just to just to say I can't do it anymore. I don't think it's easy for any of us to say. We understand it because we've been around. We know it. It's hard to tell Ken Griffey Jr. you don't have the swing anymore. It's hard to tell Whitey Ford that you don't strikes anymore. You always hope that these guys know
No,
time to go.
that's not the way the athlete or the politician's mind works. It's a
Nope.
shame, but it doesn't work that way.
To do that, you have to have the feeling, you have to have the drive, you have to have the thing inside of you that says that I can do this. If you don't have that, how do you do it?
You're right.
Anybody who I would be upset if Joe Biden said, "Well, yeah, you're right. I'll see you later." I think I'd be more upset at that because then it would mean everything. I mean, I don't want him to go down without a fight.
You guys
But I
take it.
think at some point,
I'm exhausted. You guys take it.
at some point, you have to realize that when George Clooney is writing about you in the New York Times, there's some thinking that has to be done.
How do they do it with surgeons, guys who are too old to operate anymore? Do they have to kill a couple people before they're?
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all unless well, I guess send them up before
I'm sort of bored.
there was a doctor that I knew that they put before a board and didn't take away his license, but they limited him to what he could do.
No more brain surgery, Biff.
And then that, of course, gets around to all the hospitals. So more than likely take away his operation, and it gets to the insurance companies, which they say, well, you want to keep your insurance. It's going to be 5 times what it is. You want to keep your malpractice insurance. If you want to keep that insurance that you need, you're required to have, and you want to continue to operate with your own hands, it's going to cost you. And maybe say to you now, if you want to sit in the operating room with one of our younger guys or women and kind of monitor things and then make sure that everything is going the way it's supposed to be going,
You can
we
consult.
that's not a bad thing. We could use your experience.
Just don't touch anything.
But as far as the you going into that brain, maybe we're not going to let you do that anymore. Maybe your hands are a little too shaky. Maybe you don't see like you used to see. There's got to be somebody that you can show this.
And the doctor doesn't have the option of saying not going to happen.
Well, they could, but then they have to find a hospital that will let them operate. And then they have an insurance company that will insure them.
We just don't have another Congress and White House for Joe to play in while he gets it together.
Well, we do. We do, Michael. We have a system where he can become an elder statesman.
He should be able to do that.
We have a system where maybe not the president anymore, and maybe the tradition is to just back up and away from it. I did it for many years, and now it's time to go. But here's where again you hold a little bit.
But even the advice that he's supposed to be giving is jumbled. He starts a sentence, he interrupts himself, he says, and by the way, and folks, and
yeah, but his advice then doesn't carry the weight of law.
right.
His advice then is to somebody who can say, "Well, Joe, that sounds like a great idea, but look, here's let's sit down in the situation room and let's hash this out." You don't
Yeah.
think that Barack Obama called Bill Clinton or George Bush and asked them questions about things that he did, things that he wanted to do? How will this affect this? How affect this? Why do you think he had Biden on in the first place? Because he wanted to know how, he wanted to have somebody who could advise him on how things ran. Well, here we are, however many, 15 years later, 18 years later, and now we need somebody, and now Joe needs to be the guy who advises Harris if she's the next person. And I think at this point, she's it.
You just brought something up that I hadn't thought of. Harris gets the job. It's her job to run the candidacy, the campaign. Does Biden's team get axed? The same guys who said he was good enough, the same guys who held his condition quiet, the same guys who covered up his problems? Do they get an advice and consent, or does Harris have her own people?
Well, I think, and I don't know this, but I would think it seems to me, and I'd like to actually ask you because it's a great question. I'd like to ask somebody, hear somebody, answer what does happen. A guy like Carville or something like that, because the thought Biden's staff has put her in a position not to succeed.
And their speechwriters are awful. Joe's speechwriters are just piss poor.
That they've to keep Biden spotlighted. The last thing that they wanted to spotlight is how Harris was, and it's only after the Dobbs decision that they realized that because Joe
we got a weapon here.
Doesn't have a lot of credibility because it really at the heart of it for abortion. He's a Catholic.
He's a Catholic, right?
He doesn't let that get in the way of, just because. And it's one of the admirable things about him. It's just because he believes one thing, and he doesn't say that that's what's good for the country.
And the Archbishop told me, Joey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Well, didn't early in his presidency, you see the Archbishop Washington said that we don't want, that you can't come to church? Remember there was a whole controversy about that?
Can you drive by on a Sunday? Can you just drive by?
We'll call you when we need you. We really don't want you coming to church because if you're for abortion or if you're for health, women's health care, if you're for them, then we don't want you in our church. It's a church.
You can't be on our team. The Catholics are famous for burning women at the stake. We don't help them.
So that was I remember how big of a thing that was when first got the first became president. So I don't know, but I do think there are answers here that aren't being explored correctly.
Well, Biden's team is preventing it from happening.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got a bunch of people there that are fearing for their jobs.
Their jobs are done.
You got a bunch of people there that are trying to figure out, well, how do we keep control of this thing?
Your job, you've done your job. Goodbye.
And it part of it is, Michael, at this point, nobody believes it. Nobody believes it. I mean, here you have a guy. I mean, think about this. Inflation is gone from 10% to 3% in a year.
And he's got no traction with it.
And he's not even talking. He can't even talk about it.
He can't. The funny thing is, someone mentioned last night, it's not that he doesn't have great achievements. He has amazing achievements. He cannot talk about them.
Yeah. And that is why, well, that's two things. That's why I don't know that you hold some of his staff. It isn't just Biden that's doing it; it's his staff doing it.
And they seem fine with mediocrity.
And why you don't get rid of him completely? Why you say, look at what he has done over the past 3 years. Look at what he has accomplished over the past 3 years. We don't need to put this guy out to pasture. We need to take advantage of him as long as he wants to be up in the game. The game. We just need uh, different energy. We need different energy.
And we need it
We
today.
can't have the energy guy who gets names confused.
Poof.
We
Poor
can't have
Vinnie.
the energy of a guy who stares out into space and looks vague.
He said he was the first black woman.
It's sad, Michael, because but for the grace of God go I.
Well, when I get to be like that, you'll know here on the show pretty quickly. And I won't be able to influence anybody even those within the sound of my voice.
Those are what we used to be. It's a function of getting old. Um, I try to think of song titles or things that I knew, uh, and forget them.
You're
Thank
still
God.
pretty sharp. You're pretty sharp, Ben.
Yeah, but I'm not as sharp as I used to be,
Well,
and
that's
and I
not the
know it.
point. Yeah,
And I know it.
I do too.
I used to be able to I don't know. You could name a song, and I could tell you who did it, who wrote, who performed it, the person who had a hit with it performed it.
Knock three times.
Well, that was Tony Orlando and Dawn.
Yeah.
But I can also tell you that Tony Orlando had in the '60s with "Halfway to Paradise"
Not all the way, halfway.
before he ever met Dawn.
At least you
Uh,
pronounce it correctly. Tony, how do you pronounce the name of the group? Dawn. You mean
Dawn.
Dawn? No, not Dawn. Dawn.
So, we're all not what we used to be. It's part of why I don't do sports as much as I used to anymore, because I used to be able to, I knew all of that stuff, man. It could come right off the top of my head. Now, not so much anymore. And the game has become so stat oriented.
Yeah.
The
And
people
all,
in
all
the game
stats all
now,
stats have a four-letter preface
yeah,
that I don't understand. The flip, the whip, the zip, the nip, and the clip.
yeah, there's a gazillion things going on, and I understand what they are, but I don't live by them. See, I live by the gut feeling of what a player looks like to me. Does he look like a baseball player?
Right.
Does he do the things that all players should be doing out there? Does he
And
have respect for the game?
they are consistently stars in this game that don't look like baseball players for all their talent. They just don't look like ball players, and they have problems with the game.
Yeah, and the funny thing is baseball has always been like that. If you see a guy that's a football player, unless he's a quarterback or a running back or something like, or not even a running back, but a wide receiver, you can look at that guy and say that's a football player.
Right.
There are a lot of baseball players, maybe a half of them, that you could look at out of uniform and say, the guy works at the 7-Eleven. Or that guy works at this, or that does that, and because the base, and it's why I think people love the game, because everybody thinks they can do it. Unless you've sat in there and faced somebody, if even that's not even say a major league fastball, but I'll go with the Silver Bullets when I played against the Silver Bullets and faced them. I mean, they were bringing the ball in there at 75 miles an hour,
Yeah.
80 miles an hour. And I'm going to tell you, when a ball's moving at 85 miles an hour, you don't have as much of a shot as you think you do. And as that ball gets closer,
Your options
that
disappear.
diminishes.
Ah, forget it.
So I mean, it's a funny. So yeah, I mean, you have to accept that. You have to accept that kind of stuff. That you get to a certain point, don't it doesn't work the same anymore. Many things just don't work the same anymore. And if you can accept it and you can work with it, you'll probably
Good luck to you.
yeah, you'll probably extend your influence. If you can't accept it, if you just get to a point where you just say, well, yeah, I'm still the king, I'm King Harvest on the block. Well, you're in for a crash.
If you tell them it's not going to happen, those are famous last words.
It's a hard crash too. It's not easy. It's when I was reading Shelley Duvall's biography, not biography, but her obituary in the New York Times this morning, there was something that it was very, that really touches us all that have been in this business. One day, people love you, they want you, they want you to do this, they want you to come to their parties. The next day, you can't get them to call you back.
Yeah, well, that's a fact.
And that's the business. This is the business we have chosen.
I never asked. I knew he was a hothead, always mouthing off. I never asked.
I never asked who gave the order because I knew
It was the business we've chosen.
that this was business.
Small potatoes. I love it when he takes this potato chip and says, small
That's such
potatoes.
a great scene.
Yeah.
That really is from carrying in the tuna fish sandwich to the
Yeah.
whole where they claw over and they turn up the USC game, uh, the whole thing. These two guys control billions of dollars in America, billions, hundreds of jobs. They control senators and congressmen and judges and mayors and politicians.
But they can't control their feelings for each other.
But there they are sitting in a ranch house in a Rambler in my outside of Miami, watching the USC Notre Dame game. I think it was USC Notre Dame. It was USC Michigan. It was USC game. Watching that game, and the fate of countries are in their hands.
Yeah.
It's
And
really
the game of chess is being played.
yeah. You don't get the first couple of times the movie. I don't think you do, unless maybe you're of a certain age. But as a young, it's watching The Godfathers are strangely like watching the Adventures of Superman.
Yeah.
They look completely different to you when you're young, and watching them. And then you go back and you watch them when you have some age under your belt, and then you go back and watch them again. There are episodes, the early parts of Superman, where you watch and you can see that they're all about racial prejudice. They're all about uh, different elements of our society that people are trying to address.
How some people get to commit crimes and others don't.
Yeah, and when you look at The Godfather, when you're young, you see it one way. When you're older, you realize the gravity of the situations. You realize that this isn't a mafia movie. This is a movie about power,
But
about
America,
control,
America,
about America. Yeah, about
the true backbone and emotions of America.
yeah, how things really work.
Well, we're finding out this week how they really work.
Well, yeah, yeah. We need. I think that I didn't think that George Clooney was going to be playing Don Corleone, though.
Better than being Mo Green.
Yeah, everything's better than being Mo Green.
And Mo had a good thing going.
Mo Green did not have a good outcome.
He said the wrong thing to the right guy. He was banging waitresses twice, two at a time. I had to knock some heads.
Yeah,
You knocked heads with my brother.
my brother. You tell my brother what to do. I can make. I
Corle- and the
see
Corleones don't have that kind of power.
still keep.
You see, Donald Trump says the Bidens don't have that kind of power anymore. You guys don't have the power you used to have. The word around is the old man doesn't know.
The word is to, and listen, Mikey. Even you know the Godfather is losing it.
Yeah, yeah. But he
Would I
did
have been
too.
able to 10 years ago? Would I have been able to do what I did?
Yeah.
Would I have been able to get to him? And all of a sudden, Mike up with the pistol, comes out of the bathroom with the pistol, and boom, boom, boom.
We're
Problem
back.
solved.
We're back.
Or he thought he was going to solve. I don't think he really did.
Well, it's not business. It's personal. No, wait.
My advice to Joe Biden is
Get a watermelon cooler.
deal, get up and leave right away,
Yeah. Yeah.
fast as you can.
I know you wanted the veal, but get up and go. You can get
Go.
veal tomorrow.
There's no veal that you're going to eat at that restaurant. It's going to be that good. Veal is never when it's coming out of your throat.
Nope. Just not that tasty.
Uh, hey, you know what? I want to see Sterling Hayden get a shot. You know. Oh,
Secretary of
favorite.
State. Sterling Hayden shows up to talk with Bibi Netanyahu. Now that's a conversation I want to hear.
Exactly.
I fished him 1,000 to fix 1,000,000 of you young punks.
He was an interesting cat, Sterling Hayden.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a really interesting. I mean, I've gone back and looked at his kit, and yeah, he was definitely he was a free spirit before free spirits were.
You know, he used to live in the Bay Area. He used to sail around the Bay Area all the time in San Francisco Bay.
Yeah, I think I saw. I think I read that somewhere. I didn't know if I knew that, but
Because
um,
he, like Shelley Duvall, did not fit into Hollywood very well, as you can imagine.
yeah. Well, Hollywood seems to me to be a very tough place to fit into.
Especially if you're a free spirit.
Yeah, because you, not only do you have to be a nonconformist, but you can't show that you're a nonconformist.
You have to be a nonconformist that gets along with everybody.
Yeah, you know, you can't. It's just a whole thing. You can't show you can be different. The studio probably want you to be different, but they don't want you to be different in front of them.
Be different would be the same every time we call you.
Don't be different. Or maybe Broadway you get away with that a bit more. You know, maybe maybe if you're a Broadway actor or actress, it's more of an ability to get away with that. To get away with being a freer spirit.
It's funny that he loves sailing because Sterling Hayden will tell you that if you mess up in San Francisco Bay, you're either going to be in Vallejo or out the gate, but you're not going to have any fun. You won't be home for dinner.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did he? Did he? Where did? I don't know. Something kicking around in my head about him, and I can't um, quite what it is. But there was something. It wasn't that I heard, or maybe I did hear him on a. Maybe I heard him on KGO once with
Owen Spann.
no Jim Eason. I think I heard him on with Jimmy talking to Eason once, and I thought it was a fascinating Jim Eason used to be the afternoon talk show host at KGO for years, and was really quite a card. Had interesting many things. That's why he was employed for so long.
Yeah.
But those guys, that station, those guys, boy, I got to admit, I got an education from them. Uh, they were definitely, yeah, they were definitely an interesting group of people.
How far it has fallen. Now it's a gambling station.
Yeah, what is it? Sports betting, right?
Syndication gambling.
Hey,
I'm sorry, wagering.
everything changes, right? Right? Nothing forever. So, what do you got on the agenda this weekend? Are you going to just stay
Tomorrow
glued
we're
to the
going to go.
television set?
I'm going to set aside Joe Biden and his problems and go see the kids tomorrow.
Good.
I'm bringing donuts.
That's what I think.
I'm going to
That's
go
what
to
I
a
think
place
we
where
need to do right now.
I'm going to go to a place where I'm known as the Commodore. I have no other name. They have no name. If you give them my real name, they go, doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, I was going to head down to the Oregon Country Fair,
Oh, buy me
and
a
I
T-shirt.
think my thoughts on that. Only because it looks like it's due. Just looks like there's going to be
What,
insane traffic,
where
and
is it, by the way?
it is outside of Eugene, I think.
Oh, that's a drive.
Yeah, it's a bit of a drive. But my friend JD and his Dave Kendall and a few other people that I know go every year. They have a booth. Dave sells crafts that he makes, and yeah, just it's just going to be a
A lot of
awesome
Oregonians.
trip to try there. So I don't know. I'll decide tomorrow morning after before I do the show. If I have luggage in the car, I go. If there's no luggage in the car,
Not
keep
going.
by. It's going to be a mess around here because they're closing. They're doing work on I-5 and on 405. So
You
to
can't
get
get out of
north or
town.
south is if you don't leave today
You
is going
can't
to
be
be
there tomorrow. Well, I'd say forget about it. But I know you want to go.
so. I may just head north. Might be a good time to go to Canada for a day.
For a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. But it's amazing. It's amazing how you go to Canada. All of this, you
Just
know,
disappears. Just
just
disappears.
disappears. You go sit up there at a cafe in White Rock, and they're like, "What's going on?" Oh, nothing much.
My plan B is either Italy or Canada for the second Trump administration. So we got to fix this so I don't have to move.
Yeah, yeah,
But if
Canada,
Trump gets to be
oh,
president, if Trump gets to be president, it's no time to stay. I'm good with the cards I got. No, you're not.
yeah. You got to marry you got a Canadian to get into Canada, basically, or you got to have some kind of skill that they want.
Morning man.
Last time I looked, they had a loudmouths in Canada.
Do they need morning men, Vinny?
Well, they need them, but I don't think they're going to bring them in.
We need them, but we can do without.
Yeah, they follow. See, yeah, and see, I would go to. See, I get that. I can apply for citizenship in Italy because my grandfather emigrated from Italy, so I have a right to apply for citizenship there.
Looks good.
So if that's where I got to go, and from what I understand, Americans do okay over there. The Europeans they teach their kids how to speak English. A lot of people now know how to speak English besides Italian or French
Yeah.
or anything really.
Oh yeah. English is the language of the world.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, that changes. Um, yeah, Trump's ruined it for New Yorkers, though. I mean, people. Oh, you're from New York, like Donald Trump. Abangu.
Which means this doesn't look good. What does this mean?
It doesn't. It's not good. Yeah, you don't want to do that to some. Those are fighting words
Yeah, and you
or
haven't said anything.
fighting gestures.
It's a
That's
gesture.
Abangu. Up your, up yours. So, but
Up here
the
sideways.
Italians have these long. Curse isn't just a word; it's like an action.
It's a commitment.
They get into them.
Yeah.
I hope your Aunt Sophie loses her leg in a train accident in 2029.
And they can't find the leg.
So you have to spend 20. You have to spend 5 years now thinking about 2029.
It's
Oh
coming.
my God! Yeah. So it's not only it's going to happen, but they make sure that you make sure about it for 5 years.
Sophie, don't take the train, take the bus. No, don't even take the bus.
Yeah, yeah. And Sophie can't travel; can only travel on the bus. The bus.
She was going to go to the Oregon Fair, but no, Sophie, stay home.
Nope, she said, I'm better off just staying in my room and locking the door until
So is this the
2029.
is it the State Fair of Oregon?
No, no, no. It's just a hippie fair.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a hippie.
be sure to take acid by 6 in the morning so you get a good start for the day.
Yeah, maybe my days of, maybe I'll just pass. I have enough trouble drinking caffeine. It's in the morning. Can't imagine what a.
Well, Vinny, have a good weekend. Have a better weekend than Joe Biden's going to have. And let's get this thing settled.
I'm going to have a better weekend than Joe Biden because I know that Monday morning I'm going to see you. See you.
I'll be right here
He doesn't
in
know
this
where the hell
chair.
he'll be on Monday morning.
Now, even if they tell him, he won't know where he is.
Which at times, Michael, could be the best thing that can happen to you.
It's a blessing.
All right, Mikey. Listen, you have a good weekend. Say hi to the young ones for me,
I will. You
and
tell him your
I
Uncle
will
Vinny's
catch
thinking
up
about
with
him.
you on the Lord's will and the creek don't rise.
And something about wine. I can't remember. Putin wine? No, wait. Harris wine.
Zelensky, no, Zelensky wine. Piven Manischewitz, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah. What a wine. See you,
See you, Mike.
Vinny.
Thank you all for listening. We always appreciate it.
I'll
Have a
see you
good,
Monday around 10:10.
and I'll see you tomorrow morning for drive time at 11 o'clock if the Lord's willing.